What is happening, everyone? Welcome to GBALL Vision. It is a pleasure of mine to bring you the Kansept Fenrir. This thing is just fantastic, and there's a reason why this knife has been the rage for the last year or more. This knife has been truly hard to get. It comes out and it goes out of stock very quickly. This is a Greg Schaub design, and he does a fantastic job with his designs and his OEM projects. But this in particular, guys, this is kind of a do-it-all style of knife. You know, it maybe not everything, but for the most part, this is an exceptional EDC knife. It has the look down. It has the materials down. The blade shape is fantastic. It's coming in one of my favorite blade steels, S35VN. You have this nice black wash, tumbled style DLC finished on there. Dual thumb studs and a front flipper tab for deployment. The detent is tuned fantastically, guys. This is a liner lock, which is titanium. You have carbon fiber for the first inlay, or I guess it would be the bolster inlay, and then you have titanium down here for the second overlay. Open construction, and I don't believe, there's not a lot of internal milling, if any. So it's not really that heavy of a knife. We'll see here in a minute, but it's a great user, guys. I've had a chance to get quite acquainted with this over the last couple of weeks, month or two. I forget how long I've had it at this point, but it's made its way in my pocket a ton. Let's go ahead. We'll get a quick spec check on this bad boy. Let's see what that edge is coming in. Right about 2 7/8 for your cutting edge. Yeah, about 2 7/8. You're looking at like 3 1/2 to this area here, about 3 1/4 to that area there, and then overall you are looking at 7 3/4. Let's go ahead. While I'm thinking about it, we'll get a quick weight on this guy. I don't know, maybe like 4 ounces, 4.2 or something. Oh, look at that. Look at that. 4.25, baby. That's a hell of a guess. That'll never happen again. Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, it's a hefty knife. You feel like you have a solid knife in your hand, but nothing that is unwieldy or anything like that. It is nice and solid. I can squeeze the shit out of this knife, and I have no issues doing it. I love how you can get right up on this harpoon area if you really need to lock in. You can put your middle finger there so you can get up to that tip. Love that index cut. You guys know that. The action is fantastic. The material choices are great in my opinion. It comes in a ton of different flavors, so you can kind of pick your poison with that. Why don't we go ahead and we'll throw it up against a couple knives so you can get an idea of its size if you have not handled it. There's the Hogue Deca version 2 in Magna Cut. There is the Ritter Hogue. It's very comparable to both of them. It's a little bigger than the Deca and a little bit smaller than the Ritter. How about the Para 3? That is a fair comparison there as well. How about we do the Paramilitary 2, Cutlery Shop exclusive? You know, these are both fair comparisons too. It's a little bigger than the Para 3, a little bit smaller than the Para 2. And just for funsies, we'll throw it up against the Penguin here, the original Penguin. And we'll go ahead and do the Vostede Nightshade. So, you get a good idea there as far as the size. It's a good size, in my opinion. And it's a very cool, unique blade shape. I love this blade shape. It's not something I typically gravitate towards, but when all the rage was going on, you know, a year ago about this knife, and I didn't get one, and then I was mad at myself for not getting one, I finally was able to snag one. He did a drop of these and kind of put them out all over the place, and you could see them dwindling away quickly. A lot of them were disappearing, and I just happened to be on Amazon like usual, and I shit you not, this popped up on my might be interested in or whatever the hell, and I thought, no way, that knife is on here, and I forget the retailer. It might have been direct through Kansept. I forget who it was. But they had it, and they had it on Amazon. And I had never seen this version before. I love the marbled carbon fiber, the titanium. I like the black blade with the gold accented hardware. It's just, I love it. It's perfect for me. This exact one, I had never seen it before. Apparently, he put some newer models out. Some newer versions of this knife out, and I think this might have been one of the models that came out more recent. You know, when he first did the original drop, he had maybe like 4 or 5 different ones, and then as time has progressed, he did a couple different versions of it, and this one is a 10 out of 10 in my book. It's flashy, but not too flashy. It's not too loud, but it's a little loud, and it is very useful. Love this thing. I love carrying this thing. It has found its way into my pocket an absolute ton over the last couple of weeks, and I foresee it staying in the pocket fairly often as well. Got to give other knives, you know, a rotation as well, but this is one that I just keep coming back to. It has, you know, I've been trying to let the newness of some knives wear off before I give them an overview. That way I'm not, you know, instead of unboxing it and then 2 days later or 3 days later doing an overview, not a review, just an overview, you know, and then raving about it again. I've been wanting to get a little more acquainted with the knife, kind of slow things back a little bit and give, you know, a more you know, not necessarily honest, but just I've been able to get more acquainted with the knife and give better feedback, I should say. Better feedback, you know, after everything is worn off, the new knife, you know, the hype, the adrenaline of getting the new knife, all that sort of thing has worn off, and now I am able to give a better overview of this knife. And I still have to say, guys, this thing is fantastic. I've had it for several weeks now at this point, and it is just amazing. The only thing I could say is, and I don't know that it would be possible if the blade was just a little bit longer. Now, we said 7 3/4 was the overall length. Yeah, about 7 3/4. Boy, if this was about 8 1/4, so add another 1/4 inch to the blade or so, and then maybe, you know, another little bit to the handle, man, would this just be, I mean, it's fantastic. I get a full grip on it, no issues, no issue at all. I'm just saying I like bigger knives, so, but this is, you know, in comparison to what normal people, everyday people would want, this is perfect. For me, you know, I tend to like a little bit bigger knife. Now, don't get me wrong. I love, you know, 7.5 to 8 inch knives. But I really, really love, you know, a little bit bigger, maybe like 8 1/4, 8.5, somewhere in that ballpark. But this is still just fantastic. I can't rave about it enough. And if you have not handled one, now if the blade shape is not your cup of tea at all, then I could see kind of overlooking this one. But even though this is not my blade shape preference, it still does a fantastic job at being an everyday user because of the geometry of the blade steel is perfect. You have that nice pokey tip. You have a nice long usable edge here. Very comfortable. You know, it's not my cup of tea, you know, 9 times out of 10, but this is that 1 out of 10 that really pulled me in and kind of got me away from my comfort zone. It almost kind of reminds me, I know it's not, but it kind of reminds me of a spear point a little bit. It misses it here, but it does have that look of like a sharp spear point almost. Not quite, but it just kind of gives that look to me. But guys, if you haven't checked one of these out, I highly, highly recommend taking a look at one of these, the Kansept Fenrir. That'll do it up for this one, guys. Hit the thumbs up and let me know down in the comments if you've handled one of these or you want to get one of these. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about this thing. Is it not your style? Is it right up your alley and you are looking to get one? Let me know down in the comments. And if you're new to the channel or you've been here before and you're not subscribed and you see the subscribe button down below the video, do me a huge favor. Hit that subscribe button. I'd love to have you here. Otherwise, guys, I will catch you on the next one.